Christianity and Science dialogue. He holds numerous faculty appointments in Australia, and he's originally from Romania.
Actually, yes, I wear it from time to time. I heard it's rain in the forecast. Okay, this is of course a important topic to tackle on a number of levels from a variety of viewpoints, pastoral, scientific, theological, and so on and so forth. And we have already heard three excellent presentations on the complexities associated with this experience of humanity and the Orthodox Church, among other church and religious organizations during the last 2-3 years. Now, what I would like to present are not hard facts. I haven't gone the extra mile as Alex did to organize polls and take whatever people's opinions and so on and so forth. But what I could do, and I did, was browsing the internet, of course. And, well, apart from the anecdotal information that was available to me. And what I could find is actually, I think, saddening, heartbreaking when it comes to the actual numbers of clergy, including high clergy, hierarchs, that actually copted during the pandemic. Especially in the Balkans, there have been serious situations. A patriarch died, high metropolitans and archbishops died, diocesan bishops and abbots. I haven't heard of abbesses, maybe they are smarter. Lots of them died, parish priests and so on and so forth, and this would be something indeed to look at. How does the trust of the congregations go or fare these days after seeing parishes and dioceses decapitated? And I think if anyone wants to do this fun exercise, just go for hierarchy and COVID or Orthodox bishops dead during the pandemic, you'll see the extent of the tragedy. Now, I don't want to give specific examples. I'm just pointing out the fact that the situation is indeed serious, has been serious, and we are supposed to dig at the roots of the problem. And the problem, as Father Chris has already pointed out, is that we have overconfident leadership in the church, overconfidence that comes from a kind of habit of exercising power and authority, where the so-called Holy Spirit, I'm not denying the Holy Spirit, the so-called Holy Spirit teaches them off the cuff what to do for the benefit of the church. And I think that this is a situation that cannot continue. And if we are indeed, as Hermina pointed out, in the age of the pandemic, and the fact that we don't have lockdowns now doesn't mean anything. If we are indeed in the age of the pandemic and it will get again and again and again back to us, then these are issues that we have to discuss with utmost seriousness. because the same problems are there and the same causes would lead us again and again to the same issues, the same outcomes when moments of crisis occur. But let me go through a few examples quickly. I have a few bads and a few goods. I'm Romanian Orthodox, although I live in Australia, but I keep an eye from time to time, not very often, on my motherland. And what I noticed during the pandemic is the fact that although the public demanded the leaders of the society and the church to take a stand, including in terms of recommending the wearing of masks, social distancing, and so on and so forth, vaccination. Even Romania's patriarch was very reluctant to get his first vaccine, and this is something that makes no sense because he is a public figure. He always is in the midst of people, not only hierarchs and other clergy. He's in the midst of people, and I think it's a minimum requirement to try to protect yourself in order to protect others and do your job, actually. But it's also a matter of moral example. What kind of example do you give to your own flock who looks up at you and you don't take the vaccine because, well, you don't know yet, or it's because of the pressure of certain circles within the church, not majority voices, but very vociferous ones, who have better things to recommend to the hierarchy, like incense powder and make a tea out of, I don't know, that kind of a potion, some magic stuff, and your faith and incense will make you safe. So you have this kind of push within the church, at least in the Romanian church. I don't want to talk about others, but you have this kind of push, which is not even, yes, conservative. It's not, it's stupid. Conservatism is one thing, stupidity is another thing. And this is stupid. And what I don't understand is how the leadership of the church can listen to this kind of voices, minority voices, very influential, however, without the God-given discernment that the charismatic role in the church boast to be blessed with. So that's one example. Have more. In Australia, I will mention, because it's not my own kind of orthodoxy, I will mention the actual church, but one of the Australian hierarchs rallied together with the Catholic Archbishop and the Anglican Archbishop of Sydney and put out a declaration in 2019 or 2020 against vaccines. We don't want to get vaccinated because these vaccines are made from aborted fetuses' stem cells. Well, they were very informed. And as a result, there have been people who were infected, and the situation in Sydney actually was worse than in other parts of Australia, at least at that point. Then another Australian hierarch issued a document which can be even now found on the official website of that diocese, that the imposition of vaccines impinges upon our God-given freedom. It's the entire encyclical you can read there is about my right not to be vaccinated, but it's never a case of talking about my duty of care towards my people, towards those around me. And I think these are just blindsided, narrow-minded approaches to any kind of crisis, where you look at one part, or one aspect of a complex situation, and it's a reductive thinking, which is very counterproductive when it comes to our responsibility as shepherds in the church. Gayle, you didn't tell me about my time. Anyway, there are many other things, including a very young bishop who used to be my student at some point. Thanks. He declared in 2021 that there's no point in getting isolated because he's very young, his immune system is very good. How about me? Mine isn't that good. And he was against vaccines, against masks, and so on and so forth in the church. Now, there are positive examples, and there's the Antiochian Diocese or Archdiocese of Australia, which has taken from the outset a very clear-cut approach to the topic by adopting the advice, the health advice coming from the government. That's very interesting, and so everyone else followed suit, but reluctantly. Anyway, what I would like to mention also is the fact that, as Alex pointed out, it's not all bad about the pandemic. Some things actually happened positively, including my own little mission church, which actually functions mainly online, and it's mainly based on converts. Converts that I have worked with through the lockdowns via Zoom, and now they got stuck with the thing. And we do quite well, and so although we don't raise money, we do quite well as Christians, and that's something that gives me hope, that we can turn even such situations into something positive.
Okay. Doru, you're like over your half minute by minutes.
Great. Anyway, and the thing is, we need to be very realistic about things, and unfortunately we aren't. And realism should also open the door for us to information and consultation. That's it. I don't have anything else to say because it has been done beautifully before me.
Thank you.